Hey everybody! Time for another update. I decided to actually do my hair today. I have an appointment to get my hair done on Monday. Today is Thursday, and I had a dream last night about getting it done, and I thought, let's see what my hair looks like right now, because I just wear the mom bun every day. The kids are in daycare today, so I actually had some time. The way our house is set up, I can't like take the time to blow dry my hair. I have a lot of hair. I can't take the time to blow dry or curl my hair when it's just me and the kids because I can't see them, and they are at that age where you can't really leave them up to their own devices, so it often doesn't get done. Let's see, so I am on, let's see, Saturday it'll be 2 weeks. Okay, so I'm on day 12 of my new whole food plant-based weight loss program. My weigh-in days are Saturdays, so as of last Saturday, I lost 5 pounds. The scale I have a love-hate relationship with. Of course, I'm like, why wasn't it 10 pounds? If I made a dramatic change, why wasn't the payoff bigger? But then I'm like, well, wait a minute, 5 pounds is a lot of weight. Even if it's water weight, I'm still physically lighter. And, my coach pointed that out too. He's like, you lost 5 pounds. I'm like, yeah, you're right. I just want to not focus on the scale as much. But some people want to know that number because they see it as confirmation of weight loss. But I can tell a little bit in my face. I mean, I know 5 pounds, it's not all in my face, but I feel like I can tell my body is changing a bit. I'm enjoying yummy food. My latest favorite is to take a rice cake and put avocado on it, and then sprouts and some salt, garlic salt. But today I put pico de gallo on top of the avocado and then sprouts on top of that, and it was yummy, so good. And then I usually will have raw cucumbers and tomatoes on the side. I'll include a picture right here. I didn't take a picture of today's, which had the salsa on it, but you get the idea. I made a pasta dish. I had messed it up. So Ryan had a recipe where it's kind of like a lentil marinara, essentially. But he lives in the UK, and he called for a can of cooked lentils, which I haven't seen it over here. So when I read lentils, I just put in the raw lentils, and then I realized what I had done, and it was the red lentils, so they're smaller and they do cook faster. So ultimately I had to, and it had onions and carrots in it, and then there's a jar of stuff in the seasoning area called Better Than Bouillon, and they have a vegetable one. So the recipe called for a little teaspoon of that in there too. So I put all that in there, and so I just kept like cooking it down, like lower and lower, adding more water, let it cook, simmer more, adding more water, almost like a risotto. Anyway, I'll leave a couple of pictures here. But it tasted really good, and then I paired it with whole wheat penne pasta, and it tasted good, and I sent him the picture of it and told him what happened, and he's like, interesting. But like I said, I liked it. So the second time he said, if you try it again, try adding more vegetables. And so it still kind of sounded good. I tend to go through phases with eating where I eat the same thing, over and over for a little bit. So it sounded good again. I used a whole grain elbow pasta this time, but I actually enjoyed it more with the penne. And then I added an extra can of diced tomatoes. So it was more tomatoey and similar to a marinara. But I did the same way. I cooked the lentils in the sauce. Delta loved it. She couldn't get enough. That's one thing I feel better about with this plan is when she wants a bite of my food, or some of my food, you know, I can give it to her and feel confident without having to like rack my brain, like, is there dairy in this or not? Is it going to make her sick? Dana doesn't really have any interest in eating anything like what I eat. So, and trying to think of what, oh, potatoes. So potatoes are a good food, and it's something that Ryan really promotes, especially later on in the program. It's a 90-day program, so 12 weeks. And so I started usually, like in the past even, like I said, I like vegetables and stuff. So in the past, I would roast sweet potatoes in the oven. I would chop it up in cubes. I would peel it, and then I would put olive oil and a bunch of garlic salt and some garlic powder on there. Really yummy. But in this plan, there's no oil. So I started just baking the potatoes, and they're so good. They're really, really good. And baked potatoes are something that I haven't really had plain in a while. Usually it would have like butter and cheese and bacon and all that stuff. So getting used to like a regular just baked potato takes a little bit of time to get used to. But on Ryan's plan, he's okay with salt. So I put garlic salt on the plain potato, and I'll insert a picture. Super yummy. Oh man. So I had 2 yesterday, like not giant ones. And then today I had 1 giant one for my snack. And just yummy and fulfilling and just feels like hearty. Something I had told Dan was at times I miss oil, like that flavor of oil. Right now, the only fat I'm having is in avocado or nuts, like in my cereal or my oatmeal. I'll add some nuts. But that's about it. Like the homemade hummus is oil-free, but it does have some tahini in there, which is made from sesame seeds, which have oil, So sometimes I miss oil, like on my veggies and stuff, but the benefits are worth the mouthfeel. And I know the more I continue to eat whole foods and clean foods, I won't miss that. Excuse me. I have started moving my kitchen around a little bit. We don't have a pantry in the kitchen, but we have one of those doors that you open, and it's kind of a bit of an accordion. It's in like the lower cabinet, kind of between the dishwasher and the sink. And it has a turntable in there. So sometimes people will put like, big mixing bowls or appliances down there, or use it as their pantry, I guess, but like canned foods. So we put up shelves in our den, which is next to the kitchen, where we have pantry items, but we made basically that area for the girls for their snacks. So when they have little like graham crackers or regular crackers, raisins, things like that. So I took all that out because it really didn't need to be there. Sometimes they would get into it, and at times where we didn't really want them to have a snack. And so I moved all those, and then I'm going to put my appliances in there. So I'm literally right in the middle of doing that. I just wanted to take a minute and film this. So I've got the cupboard empty and cleaned it all out and stuff. And then I've got my food processor I'll put in there. I bought a Vitamix blender, which I've used a few times. I'll put that in there. Right now it's on the counter and it just feels like it's in the way. I bought a food steamer, and it's one of those with a base, and then it's got the clear like steamer baskets on the top. And it was $30 on Amazon, and it came, and it's huge. It's huge. It's probably this tall, and the base. So uh, I was like, oh, I didn't realize I bought that big of one. But you know, when you're buying things online, sometimes it's hard to tell. So I'll put that in there. I did buy a waffle maker because there's all sorts of recipes for waffles. I made one that had oat flour, banana, and then a plant milk. So almond milk, soy milk, oat milk, things like that. I'm trying to make sure I'm still in focus. Oh, I hope I am. Okay. I hope I'm in focus. So yeah, the girls loved them. Oh my gosh. I'll insert a couple pictures here. Uh, it started out, I gave them a bite. Like, first one's done, I give them a bite, and then they come back and they want more, and they want more, and they want more. And I'm like, now the cooked one is gone. So I take that one out, then they want more, and I'm like, you guys, we will have breakfast in 5 minutes, but you gotta let me cook them up. So we did have them. I buy the 100% maple syrup from Costco. So they like syrup and put syrup on the pancakes, and they enjoyed them. Keto, they have a recipe for something called chaffles, which I think stands for cheese waffles. So this was on Saturday morning. I was just feeling like cooking. I didn't eat these. Dan ate these. He does keto for his diabetes. I made one that had just the regular recipe, which was a half a cup of cheese, 1 egg. You mix that together. And then on your warm waffle iron, you put a little sprinkling of shredded cheese. You pour your batter on there, and then you put another little sprinkling of cheese, and you close it up and cook it. And you cook it until it stops steaming. And then the second one, these were based on YouTube videos I had seen. I put same base, and then I put mini pepperoni in there, some basil, and some oregano. The recipe that I saw called for some pizza sauce, but I didn't have any pizza sauce. So made that, and then the last one I made sweet. So I put in some stevia drops, some cinnamon, and I think that's it. So he woke up and he's like, wow, okay. So he ate them, but he said it's kind of a weird texture. So it's not like a traditional waffle where you'd want to put like syrup or berries on it or something. He said it kind of reminds him of something you could make, like you could use it for like sandwich bread, I guess. But he didn't really like the sweet one, which, you know, I don't blame him. I didn't really know what to expect either. Like I said, I didn't eat them, but you could kind of see, and with the ingredients, it looked like a crispy omelet maybe or something. Anyway, so I'll put the waffle iron under there. I bought some square glass like meal prep containers that I didn't know where to put in our cupboards. It's not the biggest kitchen. So I'll put those under there. So I'm excited. I think it's going to help me with cooking. It'll help us clear off. We have a really big counter, which is cool, but it tends to collect stuff. So I think that'll help us get stuff off the counter. And then I'm working on organizing the pantry better, because it just feels like we have a lot of stuff that we need to, I guess, you know, with the pandemic, I tried to stock up on canned items and things like that. So I think now is the time that we need to start kind of eating those and get them, you know, getting them phased out a bit. It's good to have long-term food storage, but it just feels like a lot, and we're running out of space right now. I think I'm going to make a separate video because I'm starting to get some questions, people wanting to know more about the whole food, plant-based lifestyle. I think I'm going to make a separate video talking about how I found it and what documentaries I watched and books that I read and YouTube channels that I watch, just ways that I got more information, because I'm definitely not the expert. I'm still learning. Like I've said, I have a coach that I work with, and him and I talk pretty much daily right now. I don't know, as the program goes on, we may talk less, but so I'm still in the learning phase, but I'm also in the losing phase as far as weight loss goes. I have been walking 3 times a week, and there's a track near our house, like a high school track. So I've been walking around the track in the mornings. I don't like walking right now. I hope someday I'll enjoy it more, but I feel like a little like bratty child where I'm just walking like, I hate this, this sucks, blah, blah. Why do I have to do this? Blah. But it's really obnoxious. Let me know if you have that little child voice in you. But once I get going, I feel better. And I usually feel better once I leave, and the rest of the day I'm more upbeat and just feel better as a whole. So I've been listening to a couple different like Audible books. One of them is Penn Jillette, the magician. He lost 100 pounds on the whole food plant-based diet. And so I'm listening to his book. And then I have another one, I think it's called Mommy Burnout, where, you know, talking about as a mom, it's easy. And I'm sure that, you know, this is not to take away from dads that are burnout too, but just talking about how it's normal to feel burnt out at times and stressed out, and that you shouldn't beat yourself up about it, because I tend to. So yeah, it's good to listen to that and know that I'm not alone in my struggle. Dan said he can tell a difference as far as my mood at times. I still have my grouchy moments, but when I'm in my happy moments, I'm happier. So that feels good. I feel like I'm getting less frustrated with the kids, so that feels good. Oh, there was something else that was different. I've had some moments where, you know, being like super stressed, thinking to myself, I could go get a cupcake or I could go get a cookie or what have you. I was in that moment on Monday when I went to Eugene for work, and I was stressed out and I just didn't feel good. I had not enough sleep the night before. I think I had like 5.5 hours was my count. And when you drive that far, you know, it's like you get tired, and so I often will have to pull over and like walk around a little bit, or just like close my eyes for 20 minutes. So I was feeling sorry for myself, and I was like, okay, well, I could just drive over to this place and have a cupcake. I could just drive over to this place and have a cookie. Like, who would know? Who cares? I want what I want, you know, all those inner voices. And then I thought to myself, you'll feel better tomorrow when you didn't do it. And then I was like, no, I won't. I'll never feel better. Blah, blah, blah. You know, this is really embarrassing. I hope you guys will share if you go through the same thing, or just laugh at me, either way. But the next day I did feel better, and this was a good lesson because I haven't challenged those voices in a while. You know, a little bit when I was doing the 30 days, no flour, no sugar, but if I really wanted to have something outside of, you know, my eating plan, but if I wanted to have something naughty, you know, or whatever, I would just have French fries and feel better. But the whole point of clean eating is that you're not having that hyper palatable food. So the high sugar, salt, fat, you know, thing, the way they get us, the things that cause obesity, you know. So this is good. I haven't like really tried to actually lose weight in a long time, and I'm doing it. So I'm proud of myself for that. Okay, I will leave you here, and leave a comment below. Say hello. I read your comments. I like your comments with the little heart thing. Okay, I'm rambling on now. Thank you for watching.